Anupama, may I request you to switch on your video and let us welcome Anupama with a big round of applause.
Hi, Sujata.
Hi,
Good morning.
Very good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. So thank you so much for accepting the invitation and taking out time to give to Worst Experience.
Believe me, it's my honor, and I'm really happy to be here and part of this session.
Thank you so much. About Anupama. She's an eco warrior supporting natural living through strategic interventions at both rural and urban levels. What a powerful mantra. Back to basics. I love it, Anupama. At any point of time, even in my thoughts, whenever I think of back to basics, what a powerful mantra. Seriously. Very basic yet very powerful. Now she owns Dhani Group. Dhani Group has two companies, Dhani Kala and Dhani Foods. Farm to fork, organic and natural food product, home delivery model. Recently, they have inaugurated their first retail store in the suburbs of Mumbai, an MBA marketing with more than a decade of corporate experience in sales, marketing in companies like Kodak India Limited. She quit her corporate job for family. What a big sacrifice women have to make, right? Guess what? She quit her corporate job for family. What a sacrifice! Every woman is ready to do that sacrifice, right? Right, Anupama?
That's right. It becomes more important.
Women prioritize that more than their career. That's when the best phase of her life started. She started doing all the things she always wanted to do, like art, social, and community work. She joined art classes and in 3 years started having art exhibitions. I never knew this, Anupama.
Well, that was one passion I had as a child.
Okay.
I couldn't do when I was a kid. So the moment I was free, I said, let me complete all my dreams. All the things I could not do. So that was one of them.
Fantastic. She joined an NGO in Seed and worked on environment and education for underprivileged kids. That's so thoughtful and still going strong. 6 years ago, she plunged into entrepreneurship. She's also a program leader with Iron Lady. So, Anupama, I do not know, like if I have to recollect, I do not know, I can recollect only few because you have such a list of things in your profile. So fantastic, you are such an inspiration. So now it's all yours, Anupama.
Thank you, Sujata, for such a lovely introduction. Believe me, it's never crossed my mind that I'm an overachiever. On the contrary, at any point of time, the feeling that I have is, I've not achieved much. Probably it's much to do with my personality. Or the childhood. They say that your childhood, the way you grew up, develops or molds you as a person. And probably that's what must have happened with me, because as much as I remember, I was not a very loved child. My family was, always, my parents were not very cordial with each other, and they often had issues. My mother, I don't know, some jokes, she told her, I'm going to be a difficult child for her. I'll bring bad luck to her.
Oh my God.
And imagine a 23-year-old when already husband ke saath jhagda ho raha hai, and then jo cheeze your firstborn is going to be bad for you.
My God.
So now when I look at it from that perspective, I really don't blame her. But then at that point of time, for her, it must have been so painful.
Right.
So loving a child completely might have been difficult for her. And in those days, being a girl itself was a sin. Right? So I don't remember being much loved. I don't remember being, cuddled by my parents.
Okay.
Or, my mother putting me on her lap and, hugging me or whatever, all those things are not there. But then
child looks forward to, right?
Yes.
That's a very basic thing.
Yeah. So for me, it was not very natural to, get close to people physically. even when I grew up. Though she's been a constant support with me for me. She's always stood up for me, my mother, for my, whether it was for my education. No wonder I could do MBA because of her, only because of her. Because she kept pushing me for it. That as a woman, you have to be independent. Even now, as in my entrepreneurship journey, when I needed funds, she was the first one who funded my venture.
Okay.
So yeah, so she's always been there. She's always supported me. But then I guess that thing which of the childhood stayed with me, and probably at that point of time I always felt, oh, I'm not good enough, I need to do more.
Okay.
So I guess that's where it starts. So Sujata, as far as your question was to me when you sent me that mail, that the worst experiences or the worst experience, I was just trying to count on my fingers how many worst experiences do I have. And I guess fingers fall short. But then it's not about the worst experiences, but it's about how you deal with those experiences and how you come right back.
Right. That's
So
what
having
worst
the-
experience is all about, Anupama. How they open the best doors for you, right?
That's right, and it does. So it's all about your perspective about those experiences. And as a youth or as a young person, you don't realize these things. You wonder why all the bad things are happening to me. Why this world is so bad? Why I am the only one? So I've been through those phases. I've been through those phases as a youngster, wherein I used to look at others and they had such lovely lives and I didn't have. So, not considering those, I would like to focus on two instances in my life. One is personal and one is professional.
Okay.
The first one, the personal one, I would touch upon first because that happened first.
Sure.
This was about when my son was born, the elder one. I have two sons. So the elder one is 16 years old. When he was born, I had to leave my Kodak job and I was stressed out. I don't know what was the reason why this happened, but by the time he was like 1.5 years, we realized something was not right with him. And at the age of 2, when we had to take him for admission to school asked for a medical certificate.
Oh.
All schools do. And that's when we went to the doctor. I had my doubts, so I shared with the doctor that he was not he was not communicative actually. He would not respond to his name. No words. 2-year-old children at least talk and say a few things.
Right.
He was not doing that.
Okay.
So doctor told us to take him for a checkup in another clinic.
Uh-huh.
That's where we got to know that he was suffering from autism.
Oh.
Now, autistic spectrum basically, and he was a high functioner. Now we had no idea, absolutely no idea what that is.
Right.
We did a lot of research, and I used to go meet parents. I started working by then. I was working with Times of India at that time. So during my lunch break or post office times, I would try and reach out to parents, to doctors. Because my office was in BT area, so there were a lot of hospitals there, right? So, I got to know that there is no cure for it. Now, imagine.
Okay.
knowing
Anupama,
that
I
there
would
is
like you to just reflect on what exactly it is, just for a layman. What exactly is it?
So basically, autism is a condition, as they define it, wherein the child is unable to comprehend communication the way we do.
Mm-hmm.
So they do not understand language so easily. They do not respond to even their names. For what I could understand was that if you show them an apple and say this is an apple, if you turn around the apple or put the apple anywhere else, they will not say that this is an apple. For them, that whole complete picture is an apple.
Okay.
So it's a very confusing world for them. They have, these children really, it's very difficult for them to make them understand, to make them talk, to communicate with them. Even potty training was so difficult. Till the age of almost, he was in second standard, wherein he was able to actually, do a little bit of potty training and go to school without diapers.
Okay.
We were lucky enough. We had right support. We had the right school, Gundecha Education Academy, right next to us. Then right kind of doctors who supported us at the right time. My gynec, she suggested a homeopathic doctor. Imagine gynecologist suggesting homeopathic doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where the journey started for his recovery. It was a long, slow, painful process for all of us. It took almost 12 years for us to make him, till he came to around 7th or 8th standard, when we started being a little normal, started doing things on his own, became independent. But then after that, it was a very, very fast journey.
Fantastic.
So those years were the most difficult years of our lives. Well, it's not just about the son, but it's about all of us, our relationships, which got stretched in that process. Everybody would wonder why this is happening to us, why our child is like this. Trying to, it is normal. Believe me, many parents divorce during this time. And I have personally seen that happen. Husband, wife, they don't get time together. You can't go out with a child like that, because people do not accept them.
That's right.
Everywhere you go, people point fingers, they laugh at you, the child, or they make fun of the child, they run away from the child.
What an irony, right? What an irony. I mean, people not understanding some basic, not having the basic common sense or like lack of awareness, whatever you call it. Even if the common sense or like common consciousness, that how does that permit people to behave the way they do? That's what is like, it really surprises me.
I agree with you, but at that time, the knowledge was also not there.
Right.
They had no idea, and children especially. I remember an instant where I took him out to play down in my society, and children were making fun of him so much that I could not bear it. I started crying in public, and it was so difficult. I just held his hand. I didn't want people to see me crying. I am a mother, and I'm adult, and they're all kids, and I'm crying. I can still feel the tears. I just held his hand and I pushed him, chalo, let's go home. And he's like, no, I want to play. Like, he was not able to talk, but he was indicating he wants to play. I said, nothing doing. I dragged him home. And the moment I turned, the tears were down my cheeks. And I didn't want anybody to see that. I just reached home and I cried so much that day. So that is, when I had help at home, my whole family was there to support me. Financially, there was support. My husband was doing well. We had money. We had a car. We had a driver, everything. I would just wonder about people who don't have all these support. My sister-in-law was staying with us. She was taking care of his classes, taking him everywhere possible. Taking his sessions at home when I was busy with my work. My husband was really busy. So it's really, really painful for parents to go through that. But, that experience made me very strong. Very, what we call it, come what may. Life may kuch bhi aa jaye. I can face it. I can see through it. And it made our relationship stronger, Yeah, there was a time when we felt, abhi bas nahi ho payega. But then we somehow managed. Somehow things worked out for us. And it's like now, okay. I mean, nothing can be worse than this.
I fully agree with you. Yes, nothing can be worse than this.
So today, my son, elder one, he's in 12th standard. In 10th, he got an 80% in IGCSE board. And 12th, he's appearing for it. Hopefully, now he's a typical teenager, not wanting to study, just wanting to play. He has a whole lot of friends. So he's as normal as anybody else or any other child this age. So that's one journey that we went through and we got out of it victorious. So that was a big high for all of us. Actually, it's a big high for all of us whenever we think about it.
So what was
the learning from?
Yes.
Yeah. So learning from that, was that first of all, relationships matter. Whatever happens, take care of it. first.
Right. Right.
In times of difficulty, it's only your real bonds will help you.
Absolutely.
So don't, ignore them. Give them time.
Right.
That was the one important thing. And second one was hard work. There's no substitute to hard work for anything. We really worked hard on that. Yeah, on my son. All of us. I'm not saying just me. So I feel glad, even though, I'm not a very yes kind of a person. I say things the way they are. I'm sometimes rude and mean also to people. But maybe somewhere I might be good at maintaining relations. And that's the reason why everybody in the family was together on this. And why we were able to manage things and take things through. Even though when me and my husband fight and we're like, oh, you let it be and all that stuff, he says that. But then, well, we worked it out, right?
Fantastic. So I would say that I would like to add that it was the never give up attitude.
Yes. And I got it from my mother. Thank you. I got it from my mother. She has that attitude, never give up.
Fantastic.
So that was my personal innings. Professionally, as I remember, as a 12th year, I was in my 12th, and every child in 12th is very, insecure and unsure of the future. So I was like, we got to know, my father was in the army. So he was posted in Punjab, Firozpur. There, we got to know that the cantonment area, that there's an auntie, she sees palmistry in Guwahati. Okay. So I was like, Mama, let's go and ask her about my future. So we went and yeah, she said, yeah, she will study, no worries. So I also wanted to be a businesswoman.
Okay.
That time. I said, I want to be a businesswoman. Do you think I would have a business? Entrepreneurship is a new word comparatively.
Right,
okay?
Right.
She looked at my hand and she said, no.
Oh.
I was like, what? Yeah, she said, no. But maybe you can join your husband in the business.
Okay.
And I was like very furious with her. I didn't want to show her my hand after that. I was like, what is this? I want to have my business. And she said my husband's business I want to join.
Right. Oh, God.
This desire of mine was as old as that. Okay? To be my own, had to have my own business. So as I remember, I did MBA, and when I was working in the first job itself, I met my future husband, that is my current husband. Okay. At that time, future husband. So the first thing I told him, even before we started, dating, I said there are two things I want to do in life, and one is social work. Okay. And second is I want to have my own business. Oh. I hope that's okay with you. Oh. So he just looked at me and smiled. He's like, okay. So I remember after that I joined the other two companies, and he used to make fun of me. You wanted to do social work. What happened? Like that. I said, I'll do it one day. So I guess there's a time for everything. Finally, when I started my own business, after much thinking, a lot of I wanted to do something which I could derive some meaning. I didn't want to do just anything for money.
Right.
And that finally happened because of my son only, because doctor said he needs to have organic food.
Oh, okay.
For his treatment.
Okay.
So that's how my journey into organic started. I used to start, search organic for my own kitchen, and then it was very difficult and too expensive. And that's when I said, let me see if I can, make a business out of it. So I will also get sasta, cheaper.
Correct.
I will get variety, and I will also be able to help others around.
That's right.
Who might be looking for organic. And that's how my journey started with the company called Anu's Organics. And that was a home-based thing, no investment. And just I started off with some 10 or 15 friends who started ordering. Uh-huh. Finally, a group of people contacted me through that only, because they got to know about my work.
Okay.
And they said that we also want to start. I will not take any names, right? So, and we got together. And I was given a very rosy picture about the new venture. Everybody would make equal investment. I would be the face of the organization, and I would be the main decision maker.
Okay.
The active partner, while they would be the sleeping partners, because they were all working professionals, all men. So I said, great. What can be better than this? That I'm getting investment.
Right.
I'm getting to be the face of the organization and the decision maker. Plus, they said I will also get remunerated because I will be working.
Fantastic.
Correct?
Right.
So that was like everything on the platter for you.
Right.
Isn't it? And I, at that time, I didn't even know, that angels or investors, nothing. I had no idea about all that.
Yes. So you just you knew you were going to be an entrepreneur. That's it. And you got an opportunity. You got the investment, and you are also given a place where you can call yourself an entrepreneur.
So it was all very perfect, picture perfect. Okay. The only imperfect part was 7 partners.
Oh.
And it was वो खटक रहा था मुझे कि ये 7 पार्टनर ज्यादा हैं, 4 से ज्यादा नहीं होने चाहिए, 4 भी ज्यादा है. Now, but I said beggars can't be choosers, so let's go ahead, right? And that's what came back to bite me later. I started off with a lot of expectations and everything. I worked very hard in the initial few months, but as you know, the company was in the name of all wives of those guys.
Okay.
And
the name was given by them. The name was theirs.
No. Yeah, all of us, all 7 women.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Right? I was also there, but these men were not the owners. Their wives were the owners because they could not own because they were working.
Okay. Achha, okay.
Technicality. That's what they told me. It's just technical. But all these women felt empowered, and they said we also want to get involved. Okay. So at least 2 or 3 of them started getting involved, and they had no idea what they wanted to do.
Okay.
They had never. It was not their passion. Also, it was the passion of their husbands.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a huge difference. Your passion, your husband's passion.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. If you don't have a passion, the connectivity itself is not there. So it is very difficult to begin itself.
So much interference started happening. Every day there were issues, and I wanted a peaceful working environment, which was not there.
Uh-huh.
We started having losses. Losses started growing. There were constant disagreements.
Oh.
Within, I think, 6 months, I realized this is not going to work out. Okay. But that was such a blow for me because this was my first professional business venture.
Okay.
First registered business venture.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And it was not working out. Imagine from 12th standard, I had been thinking that I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
I'm going to be a business. Yeah.
So this was after your, how many years of your, quitting the job?
I had taken a long break. I told you. I took up I quit my last job was in Times of India, and I quit in 2004. No, 2009. Sorry, 2009.
Okay.
When my second son was born, the younger son was born.
Okay.
I quit then, and after that, I joined NGO. So I'm very happy with the NGO work also. In between, I had another stint of, into education, a company called ASIS. It was a Delhi-based organization, and they are into sending children to UK for education.
Okay.
So I did that for 1 year, but I couldn't connect with it much.
Oh, okay.
So it was that's when I realized that I need to connect with whatever I do. At that age, it's not about money. It's about, the right connect, the right feel, purpose, as we call in Iron Ladies, right?
Correct.
So I could not feel my purpose there. And here in the organic sector, I could feel that this is my purpose. And as I went into it more and more, I realized how much the land needs to be taken care of. The farmers need the support. So many farmers are dying, committing suicide because, it's a vicious cycle. I can start off and I can talk for hours about it. So I guess that we cannot do here. But then I started feeling that connect here as soon as I started.
Okay.
But then when I realized it's not going to work out, it was a total crushing experience for me.
I know.
It was like I planned so well, I did so well all along. Everything was, picture perfect, and what has happened?
Right.
And what came to bite was that thing that I ignored.
And then that, again and again came back to me saying that, oh, I knew this would happen. I didn't take care. I mean, I'm a decision. It came back to me as a bad decision maker.
Okay.
And I am not a good decision maker. Right? And because of that, I went into a total depression.
Oh my God. Okay.
3-4 months, I was totally down low. I would not communicate. I just stopped going to the office. I said, I'm also a sleeping partner. Tum log handle karo. And they had a clause, they had got it signed. 3 years, I cannot get into organic food business if I quit this business.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, that was the worst thing. Because now I couldn't see any way out.
That was a total trap, I guess.
Total trap. And, financially also, I didn't get paid. Whatever they had committed. I came back to, no, now everybody is an active partner and all that stuff. Right? On paper, it was signed that I'll get remuneration, but it never happened. So this depression, the phase that I went through of 3 months, wherein I actually lost my confidence, I really, really felt that this is it, the end. So probably again, it goes back to my childhood where I was not a very loved child. And when things go wrong, suddenly you feel, oh, this is the end of the world. This happens with, all people who are in childhood, they face certain, traumas or experience, or they feel unloved. They feel, oh, this is the worst thing that can happen. So this is what I'm trying to, arrive at, that nothing is the worst thing that can happen. I bounced back. Actually, I bounced back just to, get back at the other partners who had cheated on me. I said, okay, not this business. I'll get into another business. And I got into handicrafts business.
Okay, that's how handicraft. Okay,
yes.
Okay. Lovely. That was a very good strategy, in fact.
And I traveled a lot because of that. I went and met all artisans at the villages in Orissa. It was a beautiful journey that I went through after that. Okay. So each low, if you, surpass it, if you look at the bright, if you assume that there is something better ahead of it, then you can, you actually reap those benefits.
Right. That's right.
So I traveled, I realized I want to support the artisans also. I realized India has such beautiful and rich handicrafts, but they're not getting their due. I said, okay, well, I might not make money in this to start with, but I will promote this business.
You found it purposeful, right?
Yes, again, there was a purpose. Then so there was a connect again.
Before we go to we move forward, I just wanted to know, what was that instinct, from when you were in the phase of depression that motivated you or, drove you to see the positive side? How did that happen?
Okay. I've always seen my mother. She's gone through a lot of lows in her life. She's one person who would, just not stop.
Okay.
She would, kuch bhi ho jaye na. And I've seen her, this image is there in my mind about her. She would come out from outside. In North is, how hot it is in summers. She would come all disheveled hair, tired, and she's very thin because of, I don't know, her metabolism is so high or whatever. And then she would come, sit, oh, main thak gayi, I'm so tired, pani de do, khana de do, kuch, and she will sit on the bed and lie down. And then suddenly some other work will happen, come up, which is urgent. She would immediately get up. Okay, purse uthaya, she'll stand up.
Okay.
So this has stayed in my mind, in my psyche. You can't keep lying down. Life is not about just giving up. Right? And life is unique.
Okay.
Life is, we are so blessed to be born as humans. We can't waste this life. So when I see people wasting their lives over trivial things, can't let go of this life. You have to do your best. And the best will come back to you. If you do your best will come back to you in different forms. And another learning for me is, especially through Ayurveda, is that it's all here.
Right.
How you look at a situation is all here. The same situation, somebody else would thrive in, would be very happy in, and another person would be like totally ruined.
Yes,
So it's all how you look at the situation.
absolutely. I mean, taking
So
stand.
gratitude, the way of looking at the situation, letting go, all of these things are so very important as part of our life, because you will go through ups and downs with life. Just look at that situation, learn from the situation, become better for the next time.
Fantastic, Anupama. So it was lovely listening to both your personal and professional. Definitely, if you ask me, I give the worst experience is more on the personal front, because the child, especially when it is the child and his health issues, or you know uh, 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 bringing him out of a particular situation. I mean, hats off.
So thank you so much, Sujata, for letting me express myself about that situation, because a lot of parents are facing that today. And if even, my few words can give them some hope, I will feel blessed. It is hard work, definitely. I did a lot of research during that time because I had no knowledge. Now there's a lot of awareness, a lot of research has gone into it now. But that time there wasn't. So we had three of us, me, my husband, and my sister-in-law. We had our roles set out. My husband was a breadwinner. He had to take care of the, earnings. My sister-in-law would take care of his classes and daily practices. And I was also working. So for me, my job was searching options, getting the best options, making the best options available. So research, go meet people, talk to people, find out what is the best option, which is the best school, which is the best doctor. All that was my job. And that really helped. So my appeal to all these parents is, please get help, ask for help. Relative, anybody, even if you have to pay for some relative to come and stay with you, somebody who really cares from the heart.
Right.
Do that. Get help. Form communities. Support each other. I didn't have that support. For years we had no outings.
Okay.
For years we could not go out at all. No lunches or dinners, no movies, no holidays. It was 24/7 after the sun. So that he, his training, his therapy, his lessons, everything around him.
So amidst all these busyness and all that, how would you take out your family life, or how could you manage to maintain the relationship? Because you all had very identified jobs to be taken care. So it's fantastic. Until and unless that kind of commitment is not given by everyone, it's just impossible. So how could you make that happen? Just in one sentence or two?
It just happened, we didn't plan it, but our strengths, we just focused on our strengths. जिसका जो strength था, वो करता चला गया. But it just fell in place. Touch wood, but it fell in place. We had our downs also, as in terms of relationships. So we went through bad phases, but we bounced back.
Fantastic. So it was again your never give up attitude.
Yes.
Be unstoppable also. Superb.
Yes.
Awesome, Anupama. Nice listening to you, and it's so empowering. I definitely am going to apply these wherever I feel those loops or setbacks. Brilliant, fantastic. So, Anupama, what is the message that you would like to give to your audience?
There is one mantra I always followed, all through my ups and downs. I'm here in this life. My aim in life is to be happy. Come what may, I will seek my happiness.
Fantastic.
So find out what gives you happiness. Go for it. You'll never be in a ditch for too long.
Okay, lovely. That's very inspiring. Fantastic. So it was great talking to you, and I think we will have to end the session here. And I'm definitely sure that your story is going to inspire a lot of them, personal and professional, both of them.
Thank you, dear. Awesome. I love this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anupama.